Let us begin now to prepare ourselves. Oh, I get calls 10, 15, 20, 100 times a day. Baba, Baba, declare a nation. My answer is soon, very soon. God has granted us our country. We are preparing ourselves in 2 different ways, or in 3 different ways, to receive the country. The first way is to pray, to thank God. The second is to reform our own moral quality so that we will be near to our God. And the third is to make sure that the declaration will not be fraught with danger. What do I mean by that? I will give examples. A country called Catalonia, in Spain, the richest people in Spain, the Catalonians of northeastern Spain, because of the way they have suffered in Spain, the way we Yoruba have suffered in Nigeria. In the past few years, they have decided that I want to shape Spain more. I want to shape country to one lot of, and they are quite a large country. So they mobilized themselves the way we Yoruba have mobilized ourselves. In their own case, they were lucky. Our 6 different state governments, and then part of us in Kwara, part of us in Kogi, part of us in Niger State. But in their own case, all the Catalonians are in one region of Spain with one regional government. That's fortunate. They were very fortunate in that. Àwọn máa káàkiri láti máa gbẹbẹ àwọn gọọmenti wa mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀fà àtàwọn tó àti gọọmenti Kwara tó lè ṣàkínṣára wa, gọọmenti Kogi tó lè ṣàkínṣára wa. In their own case, they have just one regional government, region of Catalonia in northeastern Spain. So all their political parties held a meeting. Bí àwa náà ṣe ní political parties, PDP wà láàrin wa, PPC, Labour, náà ló wà láàrin àwọn náà. But then they organized the meeting some 7, 8 years ago, and all of them decided it is time that we Catalans leave Spain. So all the political parties agreed to join hands together to fight for the independence of Catalonia from Spain. Wow, so far so good. Then they organized a referendum. The government of Spain went to court to try and stop them from organizing a referendum. So they canceled it, and then they came with a very ingenious response. We are organizing a referendum for ourselves. We are not asking Spain to recognize it. If you are not asking Spain to recognize it, then Spain cannot stop you. Referendum. And 99-point-something% of those who voted yes for the government, an independent state of Catalonia. Then the national, the regional assembly, the regional government took the result of the referendum from them and moved the motion in this regional parliament. And the regional parliament unanimously voted for the new country. Wonderful. Then the trial came. Now, hear me. I want you to listen to me very carefully. Then everything has been going on well, fine. Now the trial time came. The government of Spain said that they had committed treason, that their leaders had committed treason by leading them along the lines of voting for independence in the parliament. The prime minister particularly was attacked by the government of Spain. They charged him with treason. He had to leave the country. Now hear it, listen to me here. When he left the country, there was no country he had made arrangement with before. They had made no arrangement with any country of Europe or anywhere in the world. for friendship, for support. So he just ran blindly to Italy. Italy let him settle down. But then the government of Spain charged Italy with offending against the against Spain by interfering illegally in the affairs of Spain. And so the government of Spain decided to send him away back to his country, where he was under the criminal charge of treason. He got lawyers to represent him in the court of Italy. The court ruled that the government of Spain had no business, no duty, no right to send him back to Spain, but had the right and the duty to send him out of Italy. But they keep CB, so leave our country. So he left Italy, and I think he went to Ireland or some other place. And it has been so now for more than 4 years. The Prime Minister of a country that jubilantly declared itself a country in the world has no country in the world recognizing it. Hello? Nobody, no country in the world is recognizing Catalonia. And so the independence declaration is just a dud, a nonentity. It doesn't amount to anything. Catalonia is still in Spain, and the Spanish government is still taking action against those leaders there who led the people in the direction of independence. What am I saying to you? It is foolish to declare your independence without having a little assurance that country one or two will be right back beside you if danger comes, if trouble comes. That, this country may be willing to mediate between us and the government of Nigeria if trouble comes. This country will be ready. Will, it's not a question of may, you must be sure, absolutely sure. Will be ready to stand by us if we declare our independence and Nigeria marches in an army upon us. Or this country is ready to offer to mediate between us so that they can invite us to their country and ask us and the Nigerian authorities to sit down to negotiate the future. So we can then insist at the negotiation table that we don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore. But we are ready to help Nigeria in some respects. The people left in Nigeria in some respects. There are ways in which we can help. We are the strongest people in the whole place. There are things in which we can help the others. That's the way the game is played. Do I want the Yoruba nation tomorrow? No. Tomorrow is too late. I want it today. I want to be able to stand before you, Yoruba people, today and say, we have our country. Praise the Lord. But before we do that, and the day will come when we will be able to do that. Nobody is coming to declare our country for us. Our Funawalama declare our country war. But before we do that, before we take that step, we need to have some things in place. And that is what some of us are doing now and keeping sleepless nights to do. We must prepare the ground. Is there any country that is ready to mediate between us? We have given Nigeria a deadline of September 30. When September 30 comes, if the Nigerian government is not ready to negotiate with us, is there any country in the world that will stand up and say, oh, those people gave you a notice and asked you to negotiate with them? They are peaceful people, they are decent people, civilized people. We, country A, will stand between you.
Recording in progress.
And we are inviting you to our country to come and do the negotiation. We will provide all the facilities for you. A decent hotel, good negotiating table, recording materials, etc., etc. Or that's one option. Or there's another option. Is there a country in the world that will say to us, listen, we think you deserve what you are asking for. Go on and declare your country. We will be right there by your side. If Nigeria marches their army in, the next morning we will be there to tell them to go back, because our own army will be stronger than theirs. Those are the things we're looking for now. Those are the things we are searching for. Without such guarantees, we will be endangering our people needlessly. Oh, there is another country on the African continent. Somalia broke into pieces. The government of Somalia broke into pieces and they began to fight one another. The military dictator Barre said he was the ruler of all, but he was ruling nothing because the country was in chaos. Just as Nigeria is in chaos now. Finally, in 1991, Barre ran away. And a section of the country, that's Somalia, is a large country. A section of the country nearer the Indian Ocean then said to itself, well, this country is broken up. We can no longer stay in it. We are a civilized people. We are a productive people. All this war, we are tired of it. So we are taking our own country away from Somalia. And we will call our new country Somaliland. That's different from Somalia. The rest of the country is Somalia, but we will be Somaliland. So they declared the independence of Somaliland. And they have been really decent folks. Stable politics, decent politics, free and fair elections, and so on. In spite of all of that goodness, not one, that is 1991, they declared their independence in 1991. Not one single country on earth has given them recognition. Which means that they're not part of the Committee of Nations. They are not part of the United Nations. They cannot go to international conferences. They cannot borrow money from the World Bank or the international money, or get guarantees from the International Monetary Fund for borrowing money anywhere in the world. And what do you think will happen to such a country? Poverty. They live in poverty. Yes, they organize themselves well, and they hold good elections and so on. But since nobody has recognized them, their independence is nothing. It's not bringing peace, it's not bringing joy and progress and prosperity to them. So we Yoruba, we are too civilized to run ourselves into that kind of situation. We cannot step into that kind of situation. So in the past few weeks, the next few weeks is negotiating, talking to people, asking how they are ready to help us. We are lucky that they receive us well everywhere because the name Yoruba is a name that attracts love and support everywhere. That we have never been to any country where they say, "Oh, you are in Yoruba." We have never. Everywhere people say, "Oh, you are decent folk. You are decent folk." Some people who know history tell us, "Well, you were already a nation before the British came and rammed you together with other people into a country. We know you. You deserve what you are asking for. You are asking for what is already yours anyway," and so on. So, by and by, we are sure we will get a few countries that will be able to stand by us, either to mediate between us and Nigeria, or to stand up to defend us if Nigeria chooses to attack us. That's the situation. That is the situation. That's the truth of our existence. And so, my dear people, my plea to you all consists of 3 demands. 1, pray for the people who know these diplomatic games more than the rest of us, who have volunteered to do this thing and go to this country or that country on our behalf quietly. Diplomacy has to be done quietly. It's not something you make a noise about. Let's pray for them, that as they go, God will let favor attend their paths everywhere they go. That the Yoruba nation will have favor. Oh, some people think, I don't believe lọ́wọ́ wọn ṣe torí pé wọ́n ti wá dọ̀gá wa. Wọ́n dọ̀gá wa kankan, kálukú ń ṣe tiẹ̀ ni. In 1948, to go to another example, the people of Israel haven't negotiated around the world and begged and organized and so on, were assisted by some powerful countries, especially the United States, to come and make their case before the United Nations. Ben-Gurion, who later became their first prime minister, stood before the United Nations and made a wonderful case for the state of Israel. There are countries in the assembly, in the General Assembly, in the Security Council that had long already accepted that Israel should have their country and that were ready to support Israel. So the vote was yes for the state of Israel at the United Nations. And back home in Israel, young people were doing their thing, began to burst into the streets, demonstrating, dancing, kissing one another, and so on. While they were doing that, the Arab countries decided to attack them to make sure that the state of Israel would never exist. And so Arab armies from various directions burst upon the dancing and rejoicing crowd of Jewish people. Israel did have a small modicum of an army, the Haganah, but That was not anything strong enough to stand before the armies of various Arab countries bursting in from different directions at the same time. But remember, some powerful countries had made it possible for Israel to stand before the United Nations and to get a vote for their country. Those countries now stood up to defend, to offer Israel defense. And Israel was able to survive the multiple attacks. That's the way to play this game. Don't imagine that in being careful you are being a coward. You are being cowardly. No, there's no cowardice in the spirit of the Yoruba people. No, we are not cowardly, but we are an intellectually strong people. And we will do whatever is needful so that on the day we declare we will be strong. That's what is needed. Let nobody among us, if you don't understand, okay, that's all right. You don't understand that this is the way this game is played, that's fine. But don't stand on the rooftop shouting that those who are doing what I have just described are cowards. They are not cowards. They are doing the right thing for us. So that's our situation. Sons and daughters of Odua, we have our country. God has given it to us. We want to be able to take it at a time and in circumstances in which we shall be safe.
Thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing so you won't miss out any of our latest videos.